going to YouTube.
That rum you gave me, I put into this jelly.
Oh, yeah.
I can't taste it.
Right, so... excellent connection. We are live. We've got no fanfare tonight, but we are live.
Oh, good. That's the way I like it.
Yeah.
That theme tune sucks.
Yeah.
Delete the theme tune. Just go raw.
Yeah. So anyway, we are live. Hobbit's got a packed show for us tonight.
Yes, I've done extensive research, and JML has paid me handsomely for my work. 80 hours of research have gone into this
At least
one.
it's not another Fraser episode. I'm sick to death of doing Fraser episodes all of the time.
You see, the nice thing about Fraser doing 95% of the work is it means that when I do get a chance, it's a real tour de force.
Poor old Fraser. He does deserve it, though.
So, in summary, the Norway Spiral is back. That swirly portal into hyperspace appeared over Europe. Turns out that the pyramid structure in Giza has got these massive shock absorbers or something underneath them. And it talks of the Ark of the Covenant. It's been discovered via remote viewing.
So, do you want me to read from the World News then? What lies beneath the Giza pyramids? Shocking discoveries could rewrite history as we know it. The Giza pyramids have long been icons.
I'll just interrupt your reading to say this jelly is very bland and I'm enjoying it.
Yeah. Jelly is supposed to be bland. I don't know. I like lime jelly.
Well, when you dilute it that much, it does become bland.
When you were a kid, did you ever eat jelly just straight from the block?
I still do.
Yeah. The Giza pyramids. No one's actually. Is anyone? Oh yeah, Craig Wilson's here. Right. Anyway, I just completely confused myself there.
Well, you're doing a reading of the pyramids.
That's it. The Giza pyramids have long been icons of ancient Egypt, but what's hiding beneath them might just turn history upside down. Hobbit.
No, it won't.
No, it just means we know more than we did before. Recent archaeological finds are unearthing secrets that challenge everything we've been taught, from mysterious underground structures to skeletons with unexpected origins. Bum, bum, bum. These discoveries...
Which then get buried in the desert in an unmarked location on Australia because, oh God, we can't have these ancient giant skeletons existing.
These discoveries, blending cutting-edge tech with wild theories, suggest the pyramids could be more than tombs, potentially reshaping our view of the past in ways we had never imagined.
If they're tombs, then why are there no bodies buried in them?
There is one,
Checkmate, archaeologists. Yeah, but people that get lost in accidents, it's not the same as
guy. There's always the big guy in the big coffin.
What, the mummies?
Yeah.
Yeah, but mummies aren't stored in pyramids.
I thought they were.
No, that's just pro-Egypt propaganda. Zaid Hawass peddles those theories.
Yeah.
Zaid Hawass, by the way, if you're listening, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
May you drink camel's piss and I piss on your grave. On your beard. Well, I think he'd admit that himself.
Yeah. Take the latest buzz. Enormous vertical cylindrical structures found 648 metres behind the Giza Plateau. Anyway, it's called Giza. It's got to be English, isn't it?
Yeah, Giza.
Giza. A team including Corrado Malanga, not Pussy Malanga from the Sopranos, Corrado Malanga, from the University of Pisa, and Filippo Biondi from the University of Strathclyde. Filippo Biondi, is that a very Scottish name, Hobbit?
So Filippo Biondi is in Strathclyde, and then Tuffio Jones is in the University of Pisa.
Yep, that's it. From the University of Strathclyde, used synthetic aperture radar, SAR.
Sir,
Listen,
do not
Sir.
use the Sir.
Sir, do not do that, Sir.
Hmm.
Sir, you redeemed it, Sir. Do not redeem, Sir.
Do not render the images, Sir.
To map this hidden world, their 2022 study published on Arxiv, that's AR capital X IV, first revealed unseen chambers inside the pyramid.
Yep.
So now, now, a March 15th press release details their work between the Khafra pyramid. Using Beyondi's software, which turns radar signals into sound-like vibrations, they uncovered 5 identical structures near the base, each with 5 levels and sofa roofs. So do you understand the science with this, Hobbit?
No.
So how do you turn radar into sound-like vibrations?
Magic.
I don't know, but they did.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, exactly.
Below, eight hollow spiralling wells drop 648 metres, linking to two 80 metre wide cube-shaped structures. This 2-kilometre underground network stretches beneath all 3 pyramids. These aren't natural formations, says Malanga, hinting at a purpose we're only starting to grasp. Then there's the 21-23 Giza survey, where ground-penetrating radar spotted an L-shaped structure 6.5 feet deep, and a deeper anomaly, possibly a chamber 10 to 33 feet down. The L shape cannot be created in natural geological structures. Notes. That was because it's normally Motoyuki Satu.
Oh, I see. So now you're telling me that right angles don't exist in nature.
Yeah.
Yet when there's these right-angled terraced pyramids in the Sea of Japan, that's just a natural fucking formation.
Oh, and
as
the
is
natural,
the giant
and the natural hexagons in the Giant's Causeway.
of the Giant's Causeway. Yeah, just naturally forming hexagons. It's natural.
Aren't they kind of
Go
like? Aren't hexagons kind of natural? Aren't they? Because aren't like diamonds and things.
Bees make hexagons, but
Yeah.
you don't get. And quartz is it? But it's like, okay, so the only place in the world, the only 2 places in the world where you find the Giant's Causeway is Scotland and Ireland.
Yeah.
Nowhere else in the world do these igneous rocks form hexagonal formations.
Yeah. It's just an accident. It's just an accident, bro.
If I didn't know any better, I'd say they're fucking lying.
It's just an accident, bro. You never seen an accident before, Hobbit?
It's just a random happenstance.
Yeah.
The only 2 places in the world it happens is Scotland and Ireland, and that's it.
It's like when your lottery numbers come up. It's just like that, bro.
Yeah. Well.
So anyway, this
I wish my lottery numbers would come up. I wouldn't be doing this show anymore.
This Motoyuki Sato, yes, you would. You love it, Hobbit.
Yeah. But I'd be in the Bermudas or somewhere and be like, oh, come on, mate. It's still a bit early for me.
No, it's Motoyuki Sato of Tohoku University. Isn't that who's that shill? That shill Japanese guy.
Actually, you know what? It wouldn't be too bad. Bermuda's, 4 hours behind the UK?
Yeah.
Let's just have a look at Bermuda time zone, because that's better than whatever. I don't know who you're talking about. So, Bermuda time zone.
That talks about space and loves NASA.
Oh, Michio Kaku.
That's the one.
Right.
Yeah.
So the time in the Bermudas right now is 4 o'clock.
Yeah, you'd love that, I bet. You wouldn't be so late.
Yeah, full till dinner time, and then when the show's over, I'll go and get my dinner.
So then, Hobbit, if you add in the 2023 scan pyramids find of a 30-foot corridor, you've got a web of mysteries.
Yeah, you got a web of mysteries because Saeed Hawass refuses any archaeological expedition of both the Sphinx and the pyramids and the tunnels underneath linking these structures.
Why does he do that?
That's what it's
just
because he's the head of Egyptology in Egypt, and even despite all the controversy. In fact, let me just have a look. Zaid Hawass. That's a real name, isn't it? Zahi Hawass. Right, let's have a look at him. God, he looks like he's in office until 2011. Wait, so who's replaced him then? Zahi Abbas Hawass, easy for you to say after a cup.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, is an Egyptian archaeologist, Egyptologist,
yeah.
former Minister of Tourism and Antiquities, a position he held twice. He has worked at archaeological sites in the Nile Delta, the Western Desert, and the Upper. Right, so here's the thing. You know how jelly is bland tasting
Yeah.
because it locks away all the moisture in the jelly? It does the same thing with alcohol, and that was a lot of rum I put into it.
Did you like the hipster rummer boy then, Hobbit?
I mean, it's all right. It's good rum. I like spiced rum.
Yeah.
But the mug, no. That was an insult, and I've never forgiven you for that. What's the fucking point? Right, for the viewers at home that can't see this mug, imagine you've got a jam jar with a handle glued onto it, and there's no lid on this jam jar, and this is called a drinking glass by absolute morons. And Hemi and Mrs. Hemi presented it to me as a gift to say, like, we like you, but we don't like you that much. And I took it in the good graces that I was offered, and the rum's nice. So,
I knew
the,
you'd hate that. Have you seen all the really, really nice glasses that you could get from Kraken? And all I've got is this
yeah,
shitty hipster glass.
it was a fucking jam jar with a handle on it. What the
Oh,
fuck's
God,
that?
they won't even picture it on the internet. That's how ashamed they are of it.
Yeah, and they should be ashamed of it because it's a fucking shit. It's an insult.
Oh, I'll tell you what
It's
they
like you go,
do of it. They do it really nice. It's like imagine like a martini glass,
yeah.
but it's got tentacles coming out of the bottom.
That sounds like one of those hentais they warn me about.
Yeah. Um,
You know the ones.
the hentais.
Yeah, you know the Japanese schoolgirls and the hentais running
Yeah.
around, tentacles, the
There you
hentais.
go, Hobbit. I'll show you it on stream so you can see it. That it looks like the hentais.
Right, let's have a look at this. Any minute now, we'll get to have a look at this. Hipsters drink from jam jars. You're damn
Yeah.
right, interdimensional lizard. They're dickheads.
Yeah.
You see, that there looks like a pretty good glass. I
Yeah.
mean, you know, dishwasher safe.
Yeah.
And oh, look, it's being served with blue curacao.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, so there
There's
are
a
some nice ones.
there's a very hipster place near me, and they're so hipster that they only like open their venue up a couple times a year, and you have to book in advance. It's in within walking distance of where I live,
Yeah.
and they do a box of food, oxtail,
Mm.
and it's £35.
Mm.
I'm thinking I might actually do it just to sort of turn up.
Oxtail's like a cheap dish. Is it one of those cheap dishes that's become dear because of hipster chefs? Like like lamb shank.
I would like to tell you the name of this place, but then I'll be doxxed, so I
Mm.
can't. But suffice to say, um, oh, I tell you what, why don't I just read out the menu? Because this is the crux of the matter. This is the meat and bones of
The meat and
a
potatoes.
for. It is the bread and butter of which the Fortean Words is built on. Let's talk
Yeah.
about the food because you know what? Here's the thing about Egyptology, right? As soon as there's anything interesting, like, oh, look, turns out that these pyramids are actually interdimensional portals and they open up faster than light corridors to Sirius, where the pyramids pointed to. Someone like Zayn Hawass comes and is like, no, they are not giant shock absorbers, and no, the pyramids aren't springy. It's definitely not to prevent them being rumbled by earthquakes. So anyway, this place I'm looking at, oh, they have they're catering. You can have them cater for your wedding or other function. Minimum spend £2,500. So in other words, they're lazy, and they figure, oh, well, if we do this a couple of times a year, we'll be quids in.
Yeah.
So what are they doing? Not I'm not planning a party. I don't need help with drinks. Okay, so right, they're doing an Easter weekend, 18th to 20th of April. So what have we got in there? Let's do 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 Du-du-du-du-du. All right, so here we go. We have an ox box, crispy oxtail beef, and millionaire potatoes, whatever the fuck that is. House pickles. So it's one meal and a box of beef, spuds, and pickles. Or do you prefer to have chicken? Well, you can have chicken tenders, millionaire potatoes, house pickles. Or are you one of those sad tossers? In which case you can have pea pod pakora, millionaire potatoes, or house pickles. £35 per ticket. Um, so, uh, so, yeah. I mean, fuck. £35. Join us for the opening night of the doxed location for our famous boxes as we start the weekend off with our DJ. Oh, yeah, I think I might give that a miss, actually.
Did you know on Kraken's website you can buy yourself a Kraken shirt? Or a t-shirt or a sweatshirt?
Just to let other people know what a sad tosser you are.
Hey, I like product.
Get excited for next product.
Yes.
I was excited about product once, but then product turned out to be shit.
Yeah.
What product was that then? Well, probably all of them, actually.
Oh, the technical glass looks pretty cool.
Hemi's into tentacle hentai confirmed.
Here we go.
Yeah. See, this is what happens when Madfwaz isn't here to carry the show.
Yeah. There you go. What do you think to the tentacle glass? That looks pretty cool, doesn't it?
I like it. I especially like it with blue Koakuro. Is that how it's called? Koakuro?
No, there's another one that's called the tentacle glass. It's only $11.99.
Oh, that, yeah. Well, that looks like an Aperol spritz. But, you know, that's typically served in wine glass.
These pyramids that the Woodwose is stopping us talk about.
Yeah, so what is it with the pyramids, right? They've got these giant... They look like shock absorbers, but they might not be shock absorbers. Thing is, I don't actually know what they are. And
so they've checked it out on the SAR. They've checked it out SAR.
Yeah, the SAR checked them out, and it was like, yeah, this is all right, mate.
So now a March 15th press release, no, 15th March press release, details their work between the Khafra pyramid, using Bondi's software, which turns radar signals into sound-like vibrations. They uncovered 5 identical structures near the base, each with 5 levels and sloped roofs below. 8 hollow spiralling wells drop 648 metres, linking to 2 80-metre wide cube-shaped structures. This 2-kilometre underground network stretches beneath all 3 pyramids. These aren't natural formations.
We interrupt this pyramid talk to answer the chat, right?
Yeah.
Alphabet Cat says, does it also serve food on pieces of slate rather than proper plates, Hobbit? I bet it's the sort of place that wouldn't even do that. It will literally just be a piece of unfinished timber.
Yeah, or
it's like
not. You wouldn't even get like a little mini trolley with your chips in.
No, it's literally they've gone down to Jewson's, they've chopped up some untreated timber that's not food grade at all.
No,
and just put their fucking dinner
there's
on
a
that.
house up the road that they're demolishing, and they're using timber off of that, and they haven't washed it.
They're getting the floorboards from it. And just, they turn the floorboards into a serving platter.
Yeah.
Oh, can you imagine it? It's got like decades of cat piss and fag ash on it.
Yeah.
Oh,
it all adds to the flavour, guys.
£35 for a fucking box of crispy beef. What the hell?
It's oxtail. It's not even prime fucking meat. It's not even a good cut, is it? It's something you stick in soup.
It's literally the bit of meat around the arsehole.
Yeah.
And what's millionaire potato space? It was like
that's the best cut, sir. That's the best cut, sir.
Millionaire potato.
Sir, that's the best cut, sir.
So what? Millionaire's potato from the Idaho Potato Commission. Let's have a look at what this Millionaire's
Potato Commission. That sounds like they sound like they were one half of some sort of like ranch war in the 1800s, don't they?
So to make one of the millionaire potatoes, according to the Idaho Potato Commission, what you'll need is 10 large Idaho registered trademark russet potatoes. unpeeled. Then you'll need a quarter-pound unsalted butter at room temperature, plus more for brushing. A cup of Fontina cheese, coarsely grated, or half a cup of
What have
Fontina
you
and
got
half a
gangs
cup
and
of
there's
Gruyere.
1,500 million types of everything?
Yeah. Half a cup of Parmesan cheese, grated. Cup of heavy cream. I suppose that's the stuff with more deuterium in it than normal cream.
Heavy cream.
F- chi-
What does it have? Lead in it or something? Does it?
yeah, that's it. Whereas like heavy water as well.
Yeah.
Uh, so, so in other words, it's potatoes, butter, cheese, cream, chives, truffle paste because fuck you, salt and pepper to taste. They didn't say black pepper.
Is it?
Fresh black
Is it
truffle
just
for
like a posh
finishing.
potato gratin they're making?
So in other words, it's you chop the potato in half and you put cheese and butter on it, and then you put truffles on it because look at me, I'm a millionaire, and I'm going to put truffles on a fucking spud.
Oh, truffle oil's all the rage at the minute, isn't it?
Not just truffle oil, but black truffles on it,
Mm.
and don't forget your truffle paste.
Oh yeah,
So it's
truffle
cheese and
paste.
so in
Is
other
that
words,
to
it's
stick your
cheese.
truffle to the walls? Truffle paste.
Yeah, that's it. So in other words, it's cheese and mushroom potato. Well, great. I've had baked potatoes with cheese before.
Yeah.
They're literally charging £35 to act like a fucking dickhead. Like, oh, I've got a baked
Do you have to
potato.
sprinkle the salt in off your elbow? Is that part of it?
No. What they do is they've got like a salt lick they've nicked from a horse's field,
Yeah.
and then they come round to your place with a nice pick and they just like chip a bit off. And you're supposed to be really grateful that they put a tight like microgram of salt on it,
Yeah.
which you can't fucking taste. I'm getting like more angry about this place now. Fuck you very much. It's not the only gastronomy place
You're
near
gonna
me. There's
go and do a gastronomic delight through their letterbox later, are you? Then a bit.
I think I might just do a shit in the field and say, "There, eat that, bastards. Fuck you with your millionaire's potato. Why don't you shove it up your ass?"
So using Bondi software, it's so we already done that bit. There's yeah, read that. So skeletons hint at a diverse pyramid story. I'm sure that should be Journey. Meanwhile, skeletons unearthed in March 2025, reported by the Daily Mail, trace back to Nubia south of Egypt, dating to It's really badly. So, do you remember there used to be not enough punctuation? Now you've got punctuation in the wrong place. So this is trace back
on
to
average, the
Nubia.
amount of
So Nubia hyphen south. That should mean Nubia south of Egypt hyphen dating. I think it's supposed to be Nubia, south of Egypt, dating to 3000 BC. But it actually reads Nubia, south of Egypt, dating to 3000 BC. Because of the way they've punctuated it. I'm sure that should have been brackets, not hyphens. Predating the pyramids. It's surprising because it challenges the idea that pyramid builders were a uniform local workforce, says osteologist. Osteologist, that's bones, isn't it?
bone studier. I study bones.
Dr. Sarah Field. So now she's a fucking engineer, apparently.
Yeah, doctors and engineers, eh?
Traditional Egyptology pegs the pyramids as pharaohs' tombs built with ramps.
Pegs.
Yeah, built with
Sex
ramps.
jokes.
Built with ramps around handy capable. Around 2500 BCE. That's before Christ's era, isn't it? Yeah,
That's what BC stands for.
Yet their math pi, the golden ratio, they're doing this really horrific thing with the hyphens again. Yet their maths, I'll correct that. Pi, the golden ratio, even the speed of light, plus these new finds, close brackets, plus these new finds fuels wild ideas. Nikola Tesla thought they harnessed the Earth's energy. Christopher Dunn saw the Great Pyramid as a power plant, converting vibrations into electricity. Joseph Farrell even speculated it was a weapon, focusing ancient physics. Could those cylindrical wells channel energy or sound with cubes as the generators? Greg Reese, reporting via Substack, says the team's pushing to excavate though permits are a long shot. Pair this with a dried up Nile branch for stone transport, and the pyramid story feels less like history and more like a sci-fi epic waiting to be decoded.
Hmm.
So, what do you think then, Hobbit?
I think they just said a load of nothing there. I mean, I want to know, what is this structure?
There's a load
And
of Twitter. If you look into it, I can't get onto Twitter because I'm on the wrong thing.
all right, well,
So if you want to
maybe you should
have a look at those, have a
import your
gander at those
your
Twitter links.
bookmarks and your passwords. But
Yeah.
you see, here's the thing. I saved this thing the other
Holy
day.
shit! That Corrado Magna, his eyes are fucked up.
Credo Mutwa.
The
Oh,
geezer, Pussy Malanga from the
Pussy.
Sopranos.
I have no idea what going on. Oh, Pussy Malanga, right?
Yeah.
So let's give you a CIA link. This will be for the remote viewing of the Ark of the Covenant.
Yeah.
Well,
there is.
Here we go.
Follow
Right.
that. If you follow that down, the next one is the CIA confirmed the existence of the Ark of the Covenant through remote viewing, according to resurfaced declassified documents.
So here's a. Oh wow, I think I understand why jelly shots are so dangerous, because you don't realise how how much you've drunk until you've drunk it. I thought, oh, you know what, this would be good. It'll give the jelly a bit of a kick to it, and I just
No,
like,
you just
well,
kick yourself in the nuts.
Well, you heard me say. I just said, hey, this jelly's bland. It's like, you shouldn't be bland. I put rum in it. So. Right, so this starts off with, this is from Space Weather News. Who remembers my expose? Oh no, he doesn't put the thing on it.
Is he doing the folksy talking to the hey? I'm just talking to the audience. I'm just get cool, kids.
Well, he didn't put the accent over the E, so I'll read it as he's spelt it. Who remembers my expose of the electric fields of the Giza pyramids in 2014? It was published and literally nobody gave a shit. I did. Here's a thread on what you're seeing below in the
living mammoths when the pyramids were built?
Yeah, well, they died like relatively recently.
Yeah.
So, remember this? Question mark. Oh, I bet some of you do now. Oh, this guy sounds really bitter and vindictive.
Why do I have to talk to the? I can't stand that, talking to the audience. That's something.
I also
when you're doing it to people who are about 5, it's fine, but anything past that, it's a bit cringe.
So, I also bet half my viewers instantly recognise what's happening below the pyramids in that scan. So what we got here, we got a study reveals the Great Pyramid Giza can focus
Dom says you're supposed to do
electromagnetic.
jelly shots off a stripper's bum crack.
No, it's off her tits. Why would you do it on the bum crack? That's an Angus Deaton move.
That's what Dom would do.
Well, yeah. Right, so the picture for those on the radio that I'm looking at is a pyramid, and it's got some wavy lines. Some are blue, some are red, and that's based on concentration of something, VLM, and then something called MALM. No idea what ALM stands for. There's no like legend describe or glossary of terms. And yeah, the pyramid, it concentrates the energy underneath it and makes it go from blue to red. And if you look at the sky has got layers in it. So it seems that if you can imagine like layers of a tiramisu or lasagna, and let's say the high energy bit's the meat and the low energy bit's the pasta. So you've got these sort of layers of meat and pasta in the air, which the pyramid is then concentrating and sending down. So maybe those cylindrical structures, which to me look like a shock absorber with springs, maybe there's some sort of storage for this energy. I don't know, because I don't know how it works, and they haven't been active for a long time. So then he goes on to say, I have no idea if the signatures we saw below these structures are the result of slow but unfathomably persistent and consistent electromagnetic energy, The result of short-term electromagnetic events during rare superflares, or both. But this arrangement, I'm waiting for it to load. This arrangement, okay. Chemical modulation, selective hydration, dehydration zones, with rings at plasma instability points, brackets, we don't know exactly which instability, just that it's repeatedly it can be
Demonstrably.
repeatedly, yeah, that's it, showing that it is a very significant discharge of energy, dot, dot, dot. Now that I say that, dot,
But
dot, dot,
did Uri Geller have a helper in the target area? That's what we need to
yeah,
know.
exactly. It screams super flare or micronova. I
Or a
mean,
helper in the target area.
I don't know how it screams this. And again, like there's some more pictures of the pyramid, and there's like these pictures so red dots behind it, which looks a bit like a rising sun, or there's a red dot in the middle of it, and then there looks like the Mitsubishi logo with a red dot at the top and two smaller orange dots at the bottom. So anyway, it carries on to say the way that iron filings line up evenly spaced around a bar magnet is similar to how these signatures appear below. So you know, I was describing like the lasagna layers and like the high energy zones of meat and the
Yeah.
low energy zones of pasta. He's describing like if you get like iron filings around a bar magnet, you can see lines of magnetic flux. But he's not using that term. He's using fancy people term because he's looking to bullshit you.
Mm.
So he says the way that iron filings line up evenly spaced around the bar magnet is similar to how these signatures appear below. And those who understand plasma physics at a PhD level, or for those who remember the work of Dr. Anthony Perad for Los
So he's unable
Alamos.
to explain it to normal people. Then is that so he doesn't
So, in
really
other
know the
words,
subject.
let me bullshit you with science and say
Yeah.
that you have to be very high IQ to understand plasma physics. No, you don't. Have you
No,
played with like?
if he knew anything about plasma physics, he'd be able to explain it in a way that we could understand.
It's a midwit cope saying that, oh, look, you have to have a very high IQ to understand this. I can't possibly explain it to you.
Mm.
The only truth in that statement is, I can't possibly explain it to you.
Mm.
The rest is just cope. For those who remember the work of Dr. Anthony Peratt from Los Alamos, the pillar of rings exactly what this looks like. And so this picture here is one which I've seen numerous times before. And for those on the radio audience, they're called Peratt instabilities, plasma. And then it goes dot dot dot. So I can't guess what that word is. But the thing is, the Peratt instabilities where they're showing like torus rings with rings above and below. There is many. I don't want to call them Neolithic because that means New Stage. There's many Stone Age carvings of things which look remarkably similar to glow discharge plasma. I'm using that term because that's the next thing I'm looking at, and it's like, oh yeah, that's a term to describe Peratt instabilities. Is glow discharge plasma. It happens in rings. So anyway, that's as much as I'm going to say from him. Let's go back to the original thing is quote tweeting, which is a chap called Jimmy Corsetti. And what does Jimmy Corsetti have to say about this stuff? Well, so he's talking about the pyramids, and now they have these cylinders with
I don't
spirals
know, but he
around
wants his
them.
money back, or he's going to break your legs, Hobbit.
Oh yeah.
Kind
So
of sounds like a mob. It sounds like a mobster. What'd you say his name was? Jimmy what?
Jimmy Corsetti
Jimmy the
from
horse.
Strat.
He's like Jimmy the horse or something like that.
Yeah. So Jimmy Corsetti
Yeah.
from the University of Edinburgh
Yeah.
says, and he starts off his tweet or exit. What do we call tweets now that it's x.com?
I don't know. I still call them tweets.
An X post, an X host, a xylophone.
A xylophone.
Look, come on, Elon. Look, you bought the site, and
Yeah.
calling it Twitter.com is dead naming it, and tweets are dead naming it. So what's the new pronouns for this Elon Musk's microblogging
Or it could just
site?
be adults and call it a post.
Formerly Twitter.com.
Like,
So, Emoji, red flag emoji. It starts off with that. They're very important. In fact, can I copy? Can I copy? Is that an emoji or is it like a? Yeah, it is. Yeah, I'll post it in the chat. He posts a red flag. Major red flag involving the alleged pyramid discovery is the omission of water hyphen table beneath the Giza pyramids. Remember when Mr. B swam in it? No, because I refused to watch Mr. Pedophile and Serial Killer in Training. Allegedly, he's never molested anybody in his life ever, and he's never smiled ever. So, Mr. Beast, he swam underneath the pyramids. I didn't know about this because I've watched nothing of Mr. Beast. Have you heard
Oh,
about him? He
I've
did.
actually OBS will open web ups.
Mr. Beast did a version of Dairy Lee Lunchables, which are mouldy and worse and more expensive.
Is he
And
is he like America's Jamie Oliver?
and then I had to look for no, he's America's Jimmy Savile,
Oh, okay.
and I had to look up what a Lunchable is, and apparently what it is, it's food that single mothers send to their children at school
Yeah.
because fuck you, I hate you, I'm not making you a packed lunch.
Yeah.
And they give them a Lunchable instead. So Mr. Beast was like, buy Mr. Beast Lunchables instead of Dairy Lee Lunchables. And I've got mouldy cheese in it and a bottle of Prime, which is, from my understanding, antifreeze, which is really expensive and it's got artificial sweeteners in it.
Mm.
But then again, antifreeze tastes kind of sweet already. So why are you sweetening
Yeah.
antifreeze? And
Prime
why is
just
this?
tastes like it's like it's like soluble sugar hanging in a liquid. I don't know how to explain, and it doesn't really have any kind of flavour at all, does it?
It's flat, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just like weird. It's just like
So,
water.
like,
It's just like sugar hanging in water. I don't know how to
I
explain it.
remember back in 2023, and I was seeing them being stocked in Sainsbury's, and I thought, oh, is this like Sainsbury's own brand shitty Red Bull that's flat?
Yeah.
And I thought, no, I'll just stick to Red Bull, thank you
Oh,
very
so
much.
was that Mr. Beast and KSI then? Was it that?
I don't know, but oh, in that case, it makes it so it's a bit like when like a food gets a celebrity endorsement, like Kellogg's Mr. T cornflakes or
Yeah.
something. So anyway, back to Mr. Beast swimming in the pyramids.
Swimming in poo.
This massive, yeah. This massive aquifer can be found 50 foot down and extends hundreds of feet below the surface. Are we going to pretend a massive water table located right in the middle of the studied area? Oh, look, target area
Yeah, in
wouldn't
the
have a
target area.
significant yeah. Mr. Beast was in the studied area.
He was in the target area,
Wouldn't
was he?
yeah, which wouldn't have a significant impact on the interpreted results of the scan. What if Mr. Brees was drawing that water up and that's what goes into every bottle of Prime and
Yeah.
that's why it's got all those magic energy properties because you're in fact consuming pyramid energy when you drink a
We
bottle of
haven't done that,
Prime.
have we? About the where you put your blunt blades in a pyramid, but the pyramid has to be built in a certain way, doesn't it? And then it sharpens your
I
blades.
I actually have an Orgon energy accumulator pyramid on my desk. I I'm not sure if I've ever shown it to you, but
We know
I
someone
bought it.
else that has that collects his organ energy, don't we?
I'm not talking about a jerk off crystal. This is an actual. Oh yeah. But no, I have an Orgon energy accumulator, and I bought it back in 2014 or 15. I went to this vegan hippie conference, and I wasn't particularly keen about vegans, but they were the ones in the canteen, and so it's like, yeah, whatever. But it was, oh, they called it the Consciousness Cafe, and it was
Oh
hosted by.
God! Was there
It
lots of
was.
mung beans and lentils in the food?
I remember I had this salad, and I thought, well, I eat salad, and I had a baked potato with margarine. And there wasn't any salt, which I was a bit annoyed about because I thought, well, surely vegans have salt.
Yeah.
Um, but the
Well,
salad had like,
no, because they're like the new Puritans, aren't they? Food's punishment, isn't it? It's food isn't
well,
there to be enjoyed, is it? It's there for punishment, isn't it?
well, that was the thing because I was eating the salad and it was just like, oh, there's like raw garlic in this entire salad, and it wasn't like cloves I could just fish out. It was just like pureed
Just like
into it. And it's
smeared
like,
into it.
yeah, and it's just like, oh, this is an entire bulb of garlic. And every said, yes, it's superfoods, and it's like, huh.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to go to McDonald's after this.
Yeah,
I
I'm
didn't go.
just gonna go and buy a big fillet steak after this, just to spite you.
I actually ate an entire gammon the next day. I just over the course of a day, I just cut up the gammon and I ate it, and I drank plenty of cider to go with it as well,
Yeah,
just to get the vital meat nutrients back in my body.
yeah.
But yeah, when I was at this consciousness cafe,
You should
conscious
have had German
raising,
beer because that has the fish. What's the fish stuff in it to clarify it or something?
no idea, but
Yeah, it's like there's lagers that vegans can't, that vegetarians can't eat because there's a chemical from fishes that they used to make the
well,
beer
I,
clear.
I can't speak of that. Maybe someone that does home brewing and the thing knows what it's talking about. But in Vinters, the old-fashioned ones will use egg white to filter out all the crap from their fermenting grape juice, and so it will have like traces of egg white in wine if it's done the proper old-fashioned way. This is why when you go to winemaking regions like Bordeaux, there's plenty of recipes which just use egg yolks because, yeah, all the egg whites are being used by the wine industry
Oh, here
to.
you go. Right, so some lagers use finnings, which are the substances used to clarify the beer, and these can include animal-derived products like isinglass, which is made from the swim bladders of fish.
Right, cool. Yeah, so, Dom in the chat says Mr. Beast, as opposed to Dom, who just texted me. Mr. Beast is America's Justin Collins. Who's Justin Collins?
Hobbit. Samuel Smith's
Yeah.
Imperial Stout is a vegetarian beer.
Disgusting. Well, the thing is, right, like if you put your beer through a filter, then you don't need fish guts to filter it. So, and it's the same with modern wine. Like modern wine doesn't use like vast quantities of egg whites to filter it. They just put the wine through a filter. So, we've got these filters. Oh, anyway, so back to this thing
Right,
about the
so
water.
even though many beers are vegetarian, most brewers do not reveal which beers contain animal products. Those brewers who have published this information include Bartlebury's Brewery, Samuel Smith's, Anheuser-Busch, Miller Coors, the Marble Brewery in Manchester, the Black Oil Brewery, Little Valley Brewery, Pitfield Brewery, Black Sheep Brewery, Epic Brewing Company, and Broken Compass Brewing Company. So they're all
And many, many others. So the reason I mention
Guinness
this
opened a new
consciousness
filtration plant in 2016 that made their beer vegan friendly.
and many others. So the
That's
reason
it.
I
No,
mention
that was it.
this,
There wasn't a lot.
yeah,
There isn't a lot because most of them don't tell vegans.
it reminds me of that Brian Butterfield thing. But wait, there's more, and then he goes on to carry on. But wait, there's more, and then he lists like two more items, and he says, "That's it." Uh,
That reminds me a bit of. Do you remember Brian Badundy from from
yeah,
Stone Jacket? That's
yeah.
that's Keir Starmer, isn't it?
Well, yeah.
I'm Brian
Yeah.
Badundy.
Bistro sausages, brr. So the reason I mentioned this consciousness cafe thing, hosted by Mark Devlin, who does
Yeah.
a paranormal podcast thing called Good Vibrations. I wonder if it's still going on. Anyway, he was hosting it, and there was a chap there talking about orgone energy, and he was selling his orgone energy crystals, and he was selling one for 30 quid. And I said, well, look, after the Consciousness Cafe, all I've got left on me is 25. And he says, oh, go on then. So I got a £5 discount, and I've had his orgone energy accumulator on my desk ever since then, which I don't know what it does. I've forgotten what orgone energy is about, really. But I can tell you this for a fact: there's plenty of clouds over my house, so it's not a cloudbuster.
Yeah.
Right. Now I've done this stuff about orgone energy accumulation, back to this post by Jimmy Corsetti. of Edinburgh University.
Wasn't Orgon one of the demons from the young ones? Oh, you wouldn't know, would you?
No.
No,
Are we
it
going to
was Orgo,
pretend
wasn't it? Because the other one was no for Tumch, weren't he? Do you remember that
that's
bit?
from Red Dwarf when the pipes are going for Tunch?
Well, for Tumch, no, for Tumch was the demons. Was the demons from the young ones? What it was
I don't know. There's just a whole bunch of shit flowing at the screen, and there's just too much going on, and most of it wasn't funny. But the idea is, if it keeps it going on, it's just like, oh, there'll be funny bit, and it's like, and then when you strip away all the unfunny bits of the young ones, you end up with bottom, and that, oh my God, that was the peak of comedy. So, Jimmy Corsetti, Orgon Energy, what's that all about? Ah, yeah, here we go. Are we going to pretend a massive water table located right in the middle of the
is
studied
he still
area?
talking to
Wouldn't
the
have...
viewer like they're five or something?
Yes. Yeah, yeah, that's it. Well, these are Americans,
Can he
mind you.
stop?
Yeah. I'm just reading like what's written here.
Yeah,
You know, this is the problem with why don't we go like instead of doing this show, like go away for 15 years, like study something paranormal,
yeah,
and then come back and we'll present it to people. And because we're writing it, it'll have proper grammar and
yeah.
punctuation.
We'll talk to
And
people
we,
in a folksy way. Hey guys, it's me and Hobbit back.
yeah, we've done our 15-year anniversary
Yeah.
expedition into Antarctica, and
Have we got an
boy,
interesting subject for you?
boy howdy, have we got a humdinger when we went to the wall, or did we?
Yeah,
We'll find out later in the rest of the show as we
yeah,
drag this out. Here's a word from our sponsor, JML.
yeah,
Um, JML bastards.
yeah. They
Uh,
owe us money.
yeah, JML. We you know
JML
your
don't
guys
pay
should
their
contact.
debts.
Yeah, JML too busy like making the new ShamWow when it's already been made.
Yeah.
Oh right, here we go. Why was no mention of the water table included in the study? It's a very important question that should be considered, especially for an alleged discovery of incredible historical magnitude. I deleted my prior post for incorrectly stating that the SAR technology was used to penetrate the water table, which it can't, when it was actually not used to penetrate the surface. Thank you again, Matt Simpson, for reminding everyone of the Giza water table. Um, the technique is apparently done by picking up micro motions at the surface. What technique? Who are you referring to? Oh, there's a diagram here. Right,
Go to for Tumch. No, it was all go. Shall we go here or go cinema? But nobody says for Tumch. And then Rick reads out that bit from The Guardian, doesn't he? Numcool Puckajul for Tumch.
What are you on about?
I'm talking about the young ones still.
I know, I know. Uh, right, so here's a diagram which actually doesn't
Well,
help with.
I'm addressing a thing in the chat.
Ah, okay. Right, so I'm looking at the. I'm sorry, I can't describe what I'm looking at to the audience. So, okay, you've got these satellites ahead, and you've got some springs, and you're analyzing the seismic waves on the springs using satellites. Why are you doing that then? You've got satellites beaming energy at a thing in the spring. What the? I don't understand what this is. This schizophrenia, Matt Simpson? Let
Where?
me right.
Can you?
I
Oh,
will
this here.
I will read what Matt Simpson is saying, and then you and the audience can determine what this is on about, right? So this diagram apparently is describing it. The technique is apparently done by picking up micro motions at the surface, so seismic readings. They say the energy detected comes from resonating voids in the bedrock, but it is projected on the surface above, where it is detected at the surface micromotion by the radar. So something's moving a small amount, and these sort of ground scanning radar satellites, they're scanning the small motions. Anyway,
Ah, got it.
so
Is
yeah,
this the spring thing that you were talking about? Oh, satellite orbit energy.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, they only claim to be picking up features from the surface, but the micromotions are showing what's happening below ground. I don't know anything about this, how scientific it is, but that's what they say. So, in other words, they're not using ground penetrating radar, they're using seismology. So, um, yeah, because you see, that thing which looks like shock absorbers, that's an artist's rendition. And this little blob here is what they're seeing underneath the pyramids, which, for those on the radio, what I'm seeing is a blue background and it's got orange streaks on it, and they're kind of vertical. And you might, if you squinted, say they look like columns, but there's only two which have any like strong presence, and the rest of them are pretty spotty at best. And I like I don't know what it is I'm looking at here with this blob. I mean, your guess is as good as mine. They're saying it's a massive structure underneath the pyramid. Possibly it is. I don't know because the Egyptian Minister of Antiquities, which is not Zaid Hawass anymore, won't let anybody investigate. Well, if they do, they just get shut down. Like I would like to see talk about the tunnel system. Have we got time in that, or do we want to move to the next subject?
No, we can
The
keep talking about
tunnel.
it. Just quick before we do, glycerol
Mm.
monosterate. Apparently, that's some sort of animal product. What's that then?
So stearic acid is wax,
Yeah,
and glycerol is
so it could be
not animal
beeswax, then, couldn't it?
origin. Yeah, yeah, could be. Um, so they're saying these GPS satellites, the ones which are measuring these things, they can well, so one example, they said the GPS measurements across the East African rift, the Nubian and Somali plates are diverging an average rate of 7 millimeters. That's about 0.2 inches per year. Is it? Half an inch is 12 mil.
Dom says it's clearly sandworm burrows.
Yeah. So, well, no, it can't be sandworm burrows because there's a massive water table underneath the pyramid, and as we all know, sand trout have got to like capture the water before the sandworms, because it kills
I
them.
don't know what this has to
Water.
do with anything, but Intermental said Justin Lee Collins was the co-host of the Friday Night Project with Alan Carr.
I asked the audience who is Justin Collins because Dom said that Mr. Beast is like the American equivalent of Justin
Ah,
Collins.
Justin Lee Collins is. Do you remember that really annoying beardy Cornish guy?
I
Who's
do remember him from Bo Selector, where
yes.
there was a thing with Alan Carr and him, and like the impression Lee Francis did of Justin Collins was roof, 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 roof.
It's
And then Alan Carr was like, down, Justin Lee Collins, down, roof, roof. And that's all he would do. Uh, can't we just talk about Bo Selector and Sir Lee's pyramids? I'm bored of them now. Look, there's some interesting stuff in the pyramids. I'm definitely
yeah,
saying
but
there's
they
some
haven't found it
interesting
yet.
stuff.
So like we are jumping the
But
gun a bit.
they haven't found it, and when they do find it, you won't get to hear about it because they'll do what they do in Australia. They'll get all the bones and all the interesting artifacts, and they'll get into a helicopter, and then they'll go to an unmapped part of the desert and fling out the helicopter and go, right, that's it, never to be seen for another million years. Because fuck you, I guess.
Don't forget our
Yeah,
Grand
that's an
Canyon
annoying.
episode where they found that cave with all the antiquities in it. Do you remember that one?
Yeah, and the hieroglyphs and what have you.
Yeah.
Shall we? You tell you what. Look, I will summarise the thing. I've been told there are tunnel structures underneath both the Sphinx and what's the other one called? The pyramids at Giza, and they're massive and they're vast and they're really interesting, and you can't explore them. And Zaid Hawass, I keep
I do
mentioning
think
him.
I do think the audience do want to talk about comedians that you've completely forgotten existed, like Justin Lee Collins. What happened to him? Is he still alive
Yeah,
or
but
what?
you say that, but like, is he really a comedian? Like,
Is he a comedian the same way Rob Beckett is a comedian?
because, like, for example, is Alan Carr a comedian, or is he just an offensively homosexual man? Because
From
it just seems
Northampton.
to be. Is he? Ugh.
Yeah.
Is he just because like? Is there a thing where in British media it's like you don't have to be funny to be a comedian, but if you're a homosexual, then you counts?
Well, do you remember? He's somewhere. He's somewhere back there, fisting Norman Lamont. Do you remember Julian Clary? Julian Clary was very good at being offensively homosexual, wasn't he?
Julian Clary was just like, "Hello, people. I'm a homosexual. That is the joke."
Yeah.
Mm. Do you remember when he did an advert for a bog brush or something?
Oh, no,
I think it was a bog brush.
I
Let me
don't think
see
it'd
if
be
I
a
can.
bug brush. Bill
I'm
Oddie
pretty
is
sure it's.
supposedly a comedian. So's fucking Baldrick. What a fucking sad bastard.
I'm
Apparently
Julian
Baldrick's
Clary.
apparently Baldrick's not been seen on Twitter since the election, has he?
I'm Julian Clary, and I advertise bog brushes.
No, it wouldn't have been a bog brush.
I typed in bog, and the first thing that comes up is born to mince.
Okay.
Oh, come on, come on. Let me find it. Advert. Uh, oh, so he's advertised Daz. Oh, right. So, right, Jay's Citrus Blue, which is God, that was from 2001.
Toilet cleaner, isn't it? Doesn't he dress normally now? Do you remember how he
Oh,
started with Fanny the Wonder Dog?
I'm sorry, I'm watching the advert, and it's like one of the last vestiges of a hand-drawn animation, which is, adverts are cheap, but yeah, somehow it works. And in 2001, he was also like shilling for Daz tablets featuring Julian Clary. Hello, heterosexual women. Allow me into your. I promise not to get HIV on your clothes, but if I do, use Daz. It cleans away even the most stubborn of skid marks
And
and
does he take?
cum.
And the skid mark people are over there.
Hello, 5-year-old child sat next to this woman who looks uncomfortable. I'm selling Daz with Dialogue Plus tablets. The actual advert is called Danger Whites.
Oh, never laughed at that fat chick. So unforgettable. I can't remember her name. Is that Sarah Millican? Oh, I'm fat, me. Oh, I'm fat, me.
Right, I remember one joke by her. Right, are you ready for this? Is the pinnacle of Sarah Milligan's repertoire, right?
Yeah.
What do you look for in a car? And then you see
I
0 to
look for
60
pies
fuel
because I'm
economy.
fat. I am. Is that the joke?
Yeah, no. So she says, "What I look for in a car is if it has a nap lever." And then she goes on to explain, on some cars, in order to adjust a seat, you have to use a knob. And they're slow and they take time. And also, the audience laughs because Sarah Megan said knob, and it's like, oh, I'm Northern and I said knob. Doesn't that sound funny? Because Northern's a speech impediment. Ha
Yeah.
ha ha. But no, she says, then that lever, if you got a seat with a lever and then you can just like lean back instantly,
Yeah.
then you can have your seat go all the way back for a nap. And that's the nap lever. And she says, if I have
Oh
a
God,
car, it
there's
has to have a
another
nap
unfunny fat
lever.
chick.
No, really?
Yeah,
Is
Craig
her name
Wilson says.
Rachel from a.
So Craig Wilson says not Millican. There's another fat chick who isn't funny.
Oh, is it Amberlynn Reid?
Is that Is that Foodie Beauty? Is it?
No, she's some other bin. No, Amberlynn Reid is this absolute ginormous ham planet of a creature, often known as Hamberlin because
Yeah.
she's incredibly fat.
Yeah.
And the funny joke she did is she had this retarded lesbian girlfriend.
Yeah.
I say lesbian. It was a sexist marriage,
Yeah.
and you see what she would do because she's too fat to wipe her own ass.
Yeah.
She'd have a girlfriend wipe her ass for her, and did that for 9 months. And then the girlfriend was like, "Hey, I think you'll just use me now." And she's like, "Becky, you have to wipe my ass, Becky." And it just took over for
Oh,
nine
Joe
months.
Brand. Oh no, Dom's offering a suggestion. Joe Brand.
Hello, I'm Joe Brand, and I'm miserable.
I'm Joe
Yeah.
Brand, and I used to work in a mental asylum. Well, I say work. I was actually a patient, probably.
I say work. I didn't get off my fat ass all day, and then the patients murdered one another. Also, I hate my husband. My husband does everything, and I hate him for it.
Yeah.
Did I mention I'm fat? Hello, I'm Joe Brand. Ugh.
Your Joe Brand is fucking uncanny, Hobbit. Normally your impressions are miles off the mark, but for some reason your Joe Brand is spot on.
The doctor recommended I do some exercise. And I said, well, what constitutes exercise? And the doctor said, anything that gets you out of breath.
Yeah.
So I started smoking cigarettes again.
Oh, I'm pretty.
Uh,
Isn't that actually one of her jokes? Because that sounds very
yes,
familiar.
yes, it is.
Yeah.
Also, have I mentioned how much I dislike my husband?
Yeah. And I
He's
mentioned how I
ugly
look.
and
What?
stupid.
Why I pretend to be a raging lesbian?
Yeah, well, you know, there's a. ah.
Like,
Joe Brand, what are you up to these
is
days?
going on one of those panel shows? Is that a signal that you've kind of given up being comedic?
I think going on those panel shows is like a signal you've gone to the Freemasonic Hall for comedians.
Yeah.
You know,
But
Joe
don't you?
Brand's
Don't you
what
have to give
one
up? You don't give up your soul. You give up being funny, don't you, to join the panel shows? Don't
like. I just meant Jimmy Carr's like a 32nd degree comedian,
you?
and who's that fat northern bastard? He goes, "Oh, observational comedy. Have you noticed that queues forming post office? Isn't that what's that about?"
Jason Manford,
No,
who used to have a
no,
really nice cushy gig on the One Show, but he was pleasuring himself
no.
in front of teenage girls, and that's why he had stepped down.
Oh, isn't he? Wasn't he on 8 out of 10 Cats?
Probably, I think he's kind of been
Yeah.
rehabilitated now because wanking in front of kids, it's kind of all right, and it's not really
Well,
a
it's
problem,
just
is it?
part and parcel of Steve's culture.
Yeah.
No, no. Peter Kay, that's his name. He's the 33rd.
Ah.
He's like the chief high wizard of comedians in this
Yeah.
country.
Oh,
He,
do
he's
you remember in the 80s, Hobbit? Do you remember in the 80s?
oh, the 80s. Do you remember
Yeah,
the
yeah. Do you remember in the
80s?
80s? Do you
Do,
remember in the 80s?
do you remember things? Do you remember when people used to do stuff different to how they do it now?
Oh,
Do you remember things? Isn't that funny? I'm
that
from the north, I am.
that kind of humour does remind me a bit of the. Do you remember the thing that Vic Reeves used to do when they used to take the mick out of Noel Edmonds? Because what used to happen on Crinkly Bottom was Noel Edmonds would be
Freaky
on,
arsehole.
and then David Lee Travis had come out with a picture of Noel Edmonds from the 70s. So they took the mick out of that on Vic Reeves, didn't they? He said, "Oh no, I've got a picture of you, and you look slightly different." And he goes, "Oh no, it's a picture of me, and I look slightly different."
The one joke I remember that Peter Kay did that did make me laugh somewhat was it was he was talking about how the older people they get, the brighter a light they need to read something, and he's got like a newspaper or something on stage with him, and he
Yeah.
says, "I can't see it. Can you shine that 20 kilowatt spotlight on it?" And it's like, and then they one of the like lighting riggers like shines the light on him. It's like, no, the beam's too diverse. Can you tighten it to focus on the newspaper? And then, like, I don't know how, like, the lens is adjustable or something. They adjusted it so it was like a 6 inch circle on the newspaper and you could see smoke coming off it. It's like, oh, yeah, I can read it now. Oh, what's that saying? Then he's squinting at it. And it's like, that was like the one joke he did where I was like, okay, you got a point there.
Phoenix Nights did have its moments though. That was pretty funny. The one when they do the talent competition and that geezer's singing "Send the Buggers Back." Do you remember? And they're manically
Yes,
trying
I
to get
do.
him off stage. And the one where
Yeah.
Brian Potter has a power cut, don't he? He's stuck on the stairs.
Power cutting stairs.
Yeah, you remember the guy in the wheelchair? Peter Kay was the guy in the wheelchair, wasn't
Oh yeah, Phoenix Nights.
he? Yeah.
Uh,
Clinton
yeah.
Baptiste, the psychic. Yeah, Jim Cook says, "What's on the end of the stick, Vic?" And I can't remember what is on the end of the stick. I can't remember.
No, I don't know. I don't know, but
And there was Les and the Chives. Do you remember Les? Where they used to show him the Chives.
no.
Did you know what? Well, you didn't like Vic Reeves. Did you say you wouldn't watch Big Night Out? Would you?
No, I watched Shooting Stars because there were other people on it which were funny.
Reeves, you
But
are a fop. That's
but
where I was
yeah,
introduced to the word fop. I mean, so it weren't all bad.
hmm. The Shooting Stars clip had Bob Mortimer as Greg Wallace with a vegetable head. Yeah, that's not the only time they did that because there was a Vic and Bob show, and who's the unfunny one out of the two that wears the glasses? He was doing this bit where he was Lloyd Grossman from
Oh yeah, and
MasterChef.
he was kind of floating around with a big alien head.
And his hands, instead of having fingers, he had a knife and a fork on it. And then the other one, who doesn't have the glasses, he made him a meal, which was like sausages, beans, and
Oh, and there was the serial
what's
killer,
the
weren't there? That fed him people, didn't he?
yeah. And then, but I just remember the sausages and beans, and I'm trying to describe it. It's not chips. It's like potato waffles. You got mashed potato
Yeah,
and you know you bake it in certain forms, and his was like in the form of a smiley face or something.
yeah.
Um, something like that. But yeah, he just uh,
Oh, I did that. That was I actually. Well, you don't like it, do you? But that was a really good series. The Smell of Reeves and Mortimer.
I was just thinking about how uh, I probably shouldn't have seen it at the time, but I'm grateful I did. We had show and tell in school,
Yeah.
and I decided now show and tell was in front of the entire school, it wasn't just your class. So, is there anybody else who thinks was like show and tell? But it's like, oh yeah, I'll volunteer for this. Now, do you remember the episode of Bottom called Chess?
I've seen them. I've seen them all. So what happens in that one?
They play chess and they're missing half the pieces. So instead of pawns, they've got prawns, and one of the substitutions is tomato ketchup, and I'm sorry, I'm just cracking up trying to remember what goes on, but Rick has a very spirited attempt at moving his pieces up the board, and he's describing, oh, the Queen's tomato ketchup and the horses giddy up, and he's having this really sort of animated way of describing what all the pieces are doing. And then he's like, after like 5 minutes or so, Eddie Hitler looks at him and it's like, are you done yet? And he says, yes, I've done my opening move. So he gets one of his pieces and he starts moving it across the board like I've seen people do with drafts. And he does it like a couple of times and then he says, checkmate. And then he thumps Rick in the face. So there I was as a kid, right? Tears are streaming down my face as I'm describing Rick Mayall playing chess against that other bloke, the slaphead. And I couldn't keep a straight face and I couldn't describe it accurately. And then the teacher, well, the head teacher, and quite a lot of the students sort of looked at me as like, what the fuck are you on about? And I know this isn't the first time I've recounted this story, but chess happens to be one of my favourite episodes of Bottom for the time I tried to tell it to other people, and I just sounded like a complete and utter loon.
Gasman was probably my favourite.
Gasman! 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 Oh, Dom is saying you should play the clip. Yeah. Well, look, for the radio audience, I've described the clip to you, but for
Yeah.
those that are watching the actual podcast live as it appears on YouTube, 1900 hours GMT, which will then be BST, but I don't do that. Bottom chess. Bottom chess scene. Grandmasters of Chess. The chess match. The chess fight.
Why do they call him Hedgehog? I bet.
Give him a head shock and you'll find out.
Dave
Well,
Hedgehog.
we have. Yeah, well, he says. No, it starts off as, so why do they call you Spadgun? Give me a spud and you'll find out. And why did they call you Dave Hedgehog? Give us a hedgehog. No, never mind. uh, just like that's the first time he meets them and he asks, "Why are your names this?" I found a clip.
Is
It's
that
2 minutes
you know the
long.
crazy army vet in that? That's Crichton from Red Dwarf, isn't it?
He's not crazy. He's just legless.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is Robert Llewellyn.
yeah.
Ah. Excuse me.
Um, what's the time anyway? We still got another 50 minutes to go. I bet you can't go to sleep yet.
No, it's the rum and sausage rolls. It's right. So anyway, pyramids wrapped up, tunnels, all a load of bollocks. Um,
Well,
he-
to be confirmed, I think we can say it's not. It's probably not bollocks, is it?
yeah, I mean, for the radio audience, you can't see it, but if you're watching the
If you're listening to
podcast,
this from the footer and they're going, why aren't they talking about the everything they found in the tunnels? It's because
mm,
it was unconfirmed at the time of making the episode.
we've put an image which you can see some lines on a blue background, and your
Yeah,
guess is as good.
yeah.
I mean, if someone said this was like wear patterns on a tire or a comb, I would equally go, "Oh
It
yeah,
looks
I can
like
see that."
it's a group of people standing in a pub garden. I don't know. I don't know.
If someone said that this was like wear marks on a shoe, a horse's tooth, a brick, I would be like, "Oh, all right, okay." It just I don't know what I'm seeing here. I mean, there's no pyramid on top of it to tell me what. So the artist's rendition of giant shock absorbers and spiral columns and what have you, just like I don't know where you're getting it from. So
is this
anyway,
literally like what dinosaurs look like? What things actually look like? Do you know the skeleton meme?
yeah. With the skeletons, just like a couple bits which you could fit inside a lunchbox.
Yeah.
Right.
No,
So
I meant even like what they do with like a dog skeleton or something. If a scientist had a dog skeleton.
oh yeah, like the one I like is when they get a skeleton of a rabbit, and then
Yeah.
the artist impression looks like an alien from that film,
Well, that's the whole
and
thing with the
then
monster. The Montauk monster is just a raccoon, and people have gone fucking mad with it. You seen the Montauk? Do
yeah,
you remember the Montauk? We did the Montauk monster, didn't we?
if you take away oh shit, that was for the show. I've just sent the clip of the chess scene to. I got a friend who's messaging me, and it's like, yeah, I'm doing Fortean Words.
You sent it
So
to the
look,
wrong
I
person.
will give you the because Dom's asking me play the clip of the chess fight.
Oh, Spider Man! I can see Spider Man there.
Where's this Spider-Man on the damn thing? I don't know. But so whilst we get clip loaded up,
Oh,
there's been a
I can't.
spiral.
I need to. I need to start doing it from Windows because there's just too much I can't do. I can't do from Linux.
Why can't you just log in? Why can't
I
you just
can't. It
log
won't
in?
show. I can't show browser windows, so it won't show. It won't show browser windows, so I can't even do that.
Well, that's weird. I don't know how
Yeah, it's
that
got
works.
so much stuff missing from it.
Oh, are you dual booting from like the same drive or something, or are you plugging in like different drives to boot up from?
No, it's separate. It's separate ones, separate drives.
Yeah, because when I used to do dual booting, occasionally a Windows update would come along and go, "Oh, I don't like that file table. Let me just write over that and then brick your entire system," because it's
Yeah,
like, yeah, you've now like overwritten the where the grub bootloader is from. Thanks. And then there is like some guides which never fucking work on. Oh, well, this is how you fix your grub bootloader. Yeah, and the way you fix it is by reinstalling Windows and Linux.
yeah.
Um, so thanks, Windows. They don't play nicely together. Fuck you. Um, nice to have dual booting. But anyway, um, update. SpaceX is to blame for the spiral in the sky. Uh, Begtoft So, some Swedish bloke witnessed a SpaceX spiral. That's what they're calling these portals now.
Yeah.
About an hour earlier, at 10:05 UT time. What the hell is UT time? Anyway, SpaceX launched a Falcon 9,
UTC is because they don't want to call it Greenwich Mean Time because obviously it pertains to England being the.
but it doesn't even say UTC. It just says UT.
Oh, okay then.
I have
What does
no idea what
UTC
UT
stand
is.
for anyway?
Universal Time Coordinated.
Oh, okay.
It's GMT.
Yeah.
It is GMT.
Mm.
SpaceX launched a Falcon 9 rocket from California's
Is there actually a thing you can
Vandenberg.
stand on with Greenwich Mean Time where you can? I don't know if
Yeah,
it's still there. Is it the Greenwich Observatory, isn't it? You go to?
yeah, the Greenwich Observatory. That's where time begins.
Mm.
So the Falcon 9 rocket from California's Vandenberg Space Force Base, it carried 53 small satellites to Earth orbit, a mission known as Transporter 10. When the rocket's discarded second stage passed over Barents Sea, it performed a de-orbit burn. A bit of spin turned the exhaust into a spectacular spiral. Aurora photographer Shang Yang.
I can't say what Jim said. Jim said, "I'm sure I've seen that image in my toast." You know.
Yeah, there you go. So, Aurora photographer Shang Yang saw the same spiral from Iceland. And he says, I caught this in Aoyarki around 1 a.m. local time on March 5th, said Yang. It looked otherworldly against the northern lights. As strange as they appear, these spirals are a routine byproduct of SpaceX operations. Similar routine, right, okay. Similar blue swirls have been seen after many Falcon 9 launches, including this one over New Zealand. And then they got a very distinctive one here. So, I'll post you a link to the New Zealand one, like so. And another one has been spotted
as long
over.
as it's images, that's fine. I can do that.
Another one's been spotted over East Africa. Most famous of all, this specimen over Alaska. I'll ask her about that. And yeah, these spirals in the sky.
Ian in for that one, don't we? Alaska.
Yeah, and you see what they're saying is it's just it's a couple kilograms of rocket fuel and it spirals out and
is it rocket fuel, Fata Morgana, swamp gas, and Venus?
Yeah,
as well,
rocket fuel, Fata Morgana over the atmosphere makes a giant spiral. Just definitely not high energy, faster than light travel, opening up a wormhole to somewhere. Astronomer Oliver Steiger actually predicted the March 5th spiral, and he explains why it has a spiral shape. So, what's your name? Oliver Steiger. On rideshare missions like Transport 10, the numerous satellites from numerous clients have different destinations.
Are we doing
SpaceX
Sunstreak after this, Hobbit? Because you completely forgot to do Operation Sunstreak.
Oh yeah, we'll get to that. SpaceX must rotate stage 2 for deployment. As a result, stage 2 is still rotating when they do the deorbit burn and thus creates a spiral. It is very boring.
Yeah,
it is not interesting.
Nothing to see.
It is definitely not a portal to other dimensions and faster than light travel. Buoyed by last night's success, Steiger is predicting another spiral in October. The Transporter 12 mission in October could be epic with excellent equinox auroras. Comet to Shishan Atlas and the Draconid and Olenid meteor showers, he says. See you in Iceland. And yeah, so the thing is, this was very famous back in 2014. And did they say it was a cause of a rocket launch? Because I don't think it was. 2014 Norway spiral. Because I remember that. Oh, the 2009 Norwegian spiral anomaly. I'll read Wikipedia first off. And just post that. Fuck's sake, why doesn't paste work anymore, you dickhead? I've literally cut the address from the bar, so I definitely know I've got it in my clipboard history. Fuck. And
Control-V it.
Yeah, so the Norwegian spiral anomaly of 2009, or in Norwegian, Det spelar för mig löser man stället. The spiral form light pattern. Det spelar för mig löser för minute. The spiral form light phenomena. What's a light phenomena that appeared in? I can't read it with this white background. It's too fucking bright. Let me just invert. There we go. I've inverted colours. That's better. It was visible from and photographed from northern Norway and Sweden. The spiral consisted of a blue beam of light with a greyish spiral emanating from one end of it. The light could be seen in all of Trøndelag in the south, the two red counties on the map to the right, and all across the three northern counties which compose northern Norway, as well as from northern Sweden, and it lasted for 10 minutes. According to sources, it looked like a blue light coming from behind a mountain, stopping in midair and starting to spiral outwards. A similar, though less spectacular event has also occurred in Norway the month before. Both events had visual features of failed flights from Russian RSM-56 Bulava SLBMs. And the Russian Defense Ministry said shortly after such an event had taken place on the 9th of December. Oh, nothing to see here. It's just an intercontinental ballistic missile gone awry. Definitely not that's not a scary statement in itself. Look, move on, folks. There's nothing to see here. Nothing interesting is going on. It's just a Russian space launch, and it didn't work right. And it caused this spiral, which made the sky glow brighter than the northern lights.
Yeah.
Initial speculations. Hundreds of calls flooded the Norwegian Meteorological Institute as residents wanted to know what they were seeing. Norwegian celebrity astronomer Knut Jørgen Røed Ødegaard, who's their equivalent of Professor Brian Cox, pointed out the area of which the light had been observed was exceptionally large, covering all of northern Norway and Trøndelag. It was also suggested that it could have been a rare, never-before-seen Northern Lights variant. Citation needed. UFO enthusiasts immediately began speculating where the arrow lay. Yeah, that's it. Could be evidence of extraterrestrial intelligence, proposing, amongst other things, that it could be a wormhole opening up, or somehow was linked to the recent high-energy experiments undertaken at Large Hadron Collider in Switzerland. Oh yeah, because it got turned on then, didn't it? Fuck, that was a long time ago. Ballistic missile test. So this is Wikipedia.
I watched a very good film about the Large Hadron Collider last night.
Yeah?
I watched Angels and Demons for about the 50th time with the missus.
Have you told her that when next time you're watching Tombstone, she's not allowed to ask you any questions about how guns work?
Yeah, we watched it. I found the extra long edit online, and we watched that. And she told me all the bits that were all new.
Oh, I see. Right.
Yeah.
But to tell her you're watching Mad Max 2 with no interruptions. So the 10th of December 2009, the Russian Defense Ministry announced that a Bulava missile...
I did subject her to Big Trouble in Little China the other night, so she doesn't get it all her own way.
Well, that's a good film. So now you see here that this bit, I'm just thinking to myself, would the Russians really announce that? Oh yeah, we did a test of the Bulava missile, but it failed. And if they're going to test it, why are they firing over this? No, just a load of bollocks. Like, oh, it's the Russians. The Russians don't know how to launch a rocket into space because they're idiots.
I've never done it before, have they?
No, they don't know what they're doing when it comes to that.
Forever, like the Yanks were absolutely hammering them in the space race, weren't they?
According to a spokesman, the spokesman's got no name, so I'm going to give him one. His name is Sergei Realnamovich.
Yeah.
The missile's first two stages worked as normal, but there was a technical malfunction at the next third stage of the trajectory where I drank too much vodka. Russian defense analyst Pavel Felgenhauer, well, that's a good Russian name that is, stated to AFP that such lights and clouds appear from time to time when a missile fails in the upper layers of the atmosphere and have been reported before. This is nothing new. At least this failed test made some nice fireworks for the Norwegians.
Yeah.
prior to the Russian
And I'm
statement.
sure the Norwegians aren't bothered at all that the Russians are firing rockets over their airspace.
Yes, and it's just a failed missile test. Nothing to see here. Move along. And prior to the Russian statement, Jonathan McDowell, an astrophysicist at Harvard Smithsonian Center for Covering Up the Truth all the fucking time. Seriously, why is the Smithsonian paid by US taxpayers to go and hide dinosaur and giant
I
bones?
think it's USAID that pay them.
Yeah. It's a long-winded title, I admit that, but
Yeah,
seriously, Smithsonian, what's up with like hiding bones?
yeah.
He had already suggested that the unusual light display occurred when the
Stash,
missiles first.
Stash is it. We could ask Stash why the Smithsonian keep hiding
Yeah.
giant bones. Stash, why do they keep
Oh,
hiding giant bones?
I missed what you said, but I was wondering. The story is that it was SpaceX, and that you guys from the UK could see that bizarre formation, right?
Well, there's more than one Hobbit show. There's more than one. There's about 3 or 4.
Well, yeah, because this happened back in 2008, and they said, "Oh, yeah, it's just some Russians have been drinking, and the third stage of their Bulava missile blew up." And in this case, they're saying it blew up, whereas the SpaceX one, they're saying, "Oh, it's a totally normal thing where it just like that stage is deorbiting." And it just spins out, and we've got loads of spare rocket fuel, so we just like pump in billions of tons of rocket fuel into the sky, and you can see that because like the sunlight in Venus shines on it, Fata Morgana, swamp gas over Venus.
Yeah, that reminds me. Like, they hit us with all this stuff, and they make fun of people for being concerned about the geoengineering. Like, they give people hell about that. And it's obvious that, to anybody, they're not just condensation trails.
Well, the British,
so who knows
British
what
government,
stuff they pull?
The British government website, Stash, has got a whole thing where it tells you about how they're doing it and what they're doing.
But
like,
at the same time, also saying that they're not doing it. So they'll tell you about stratospheric climate remediation.
No, because they said we're not doing it, didn't they, Hobbit? Do you remember we went through it? They said we're not doing it. But it is.
We're not doing it, but we are using taxpayer money to fund private companies that are doing it. But we're not doing it.
Have you ever Googled Harvard University geoengineering? They'll have
because whenever I go on Google, they tell me about how great queer black women with that are paraplegic invented everything, and I'm just like, look, I'm not interested in going to Pravda or the American Pravda to get propaganda. I mean, BBC's bad enough. So and right, don't laugh, right? But as a search engine, I actually use Bing.com.
Yeah.
Because I used to use Sirex, but Sirex doesn't give out any search results. And I tried like the different instances of it, and it doesn't work. And I mean, I should get in more of a habit of using Yandex, because Yandex is actually quite good with stuff. But the problem with Yandex is, like, even if I tell it to go into English, occasionally it just reverts to Cyrillic.
DuckDuckGo's alright, but it's getting a bit googly, isn't it?
Well, DuckDuckGo, there was that thing they did recently where they're like, they were just like, they wanted to hire like black people, and there was that guy who changed the CV and gave it a black sounding name, and they immediately got back to him, whereas before they just continuously rejected him.
Yeah.
So plus I find I wasn't getting as good search results as I was on Google, so
I tried looking up where the United States is on education, and the Google would not answer. I assume last I heard, I think we're like number 43, if that. So all I got was articles saying America is nowhere near last in education, which I think we probably are.
Oh, you're telling me that that Burkina Faso is not as good as the United States when it comes to education? So it is a thing, right? So I knew some people that were very anti-racist, loved Africans, thought I was a bigot. And then I told them about dry vagina sand. And they were like, what? I was like, yeah. So in Africa, if a woman's got a wet minge when you're in the act of Congress, they're seen as a slut. So what they do prior to getting it on is they will pack sand along with herbs into their vagina to absorb all the moisture. And because, nothing feels better in your Jap's eye than having like some 160 grit sandpaper, right? And
Oh my God. Yeah.
unfortunately, that caused tearing in the vagina. So most places in the world, heterosexual sex, very unlikely to cause HIV, except in Africa, where they're using fucking sandpaper in their vaginas because they're packing it with sand. Because, you don't want to have a whore that's wet because then she's a whore. No, you want someone with sand in their vagina. And fucking sand. Fuck me. Sand. I mean, it was like one of those, like, these silly American insults, like, oh, don't get sand in your vagina, like a variant on knickers in a twist. It's like, no, that's an African thing. So yeah, Burkina Faso might not be as good as America for education, but they're a close 43rd to America's, what, 42nd, you said?
I thought we were 43rd, but now you can't even get it because it'll just be all these denials that America's education is. They'll just keep saying we're far from the last.
That
As far
sounds
as
like
I
a
know,
cope.
for the first world, we're the worst. I think, off the top of my head.
Yeah, well, what can you do? Well, surely you'd be
Remember
good at
Lemmy
math.
from Motorhead? He goes,
Surely
"When I know when I get fan mail from America because all the kids can't spell."
Yeah. I was just like,
Sorry.
surely Americans are good at counting when they have to learn all those different genders.
Oh, here you go. I found it. There's a World Education League table that was done. So between 2023 to 2024, the United Nations ranks them. So Iceland leads the world. Then Germany, Norway, United Kingdom was 4th. Denmark's 5th. Finland and New Zealand are both 6th place. Switzerland is 8th. Australia is 9th. Sweden is 10th. And the United States is 15, with Japan ranking 35th.
You're telling me Americans are higher educated than Japanese?
Yeah, but by a good way, yeah.
I don't believe it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I just don't believe it.
Yeah, off the top, they seem like they're the sharpest, sort of.
So what does it say here? World Education League table based on the 23 to 24 United Nations Development Reports Education Index ranks countries according to their educational performance. The Education Index is a key indicator.
That just sounds like a bunch of fraud.
Published by the United Nations Development Programme and is part of the broader Human Development Index. It ranks countries based on 2 equally weighted factors: average years of schooling among adults and expected years of schooling for current students. Scores range from 0 lowest, 1 highest, and indicate the quality of the country's education system. Okay. Maybe Japan doesn't teach kids about anal sex enough. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, how can you open up portals into the iSCAT satellite if you don't know about anal sex?
Yeah. Interdimensional Lizard said those results sound upside down.
Yes, they do.
I was taught by my martial arts master that you guys in the UK and the Japanese are sort of the toughest people because subconsciously you're on a
Island.
Oh no, they got him. They got him.
I think he was going to tell us about the island. It's the island mentality, isn't
it? He was going to tell us the real ultimate truth about real ultimate power.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way,
he was just going to give us the information he had that would lead to the arrest and imprisonment of Hillary Rodham Clinton.
The
signal pager mess up. Did you guys hear about that shit?
Yes.
That's unbelievable. Yeah. The Atlantic Magazine guy is on the pager group chat. Bizarre.
Well, it's just that's information they wanted leaked. Really, they knew it would provoke a response from Europeans going like, "Oh, the Americans are being so uncouth and uncivilized," and I'm hoping it just results in them going, "Oh, maybe we should do something about X, Y, and Z." I don't know what.
Maybe we should chip in a bit.
Yeah, saying along those lines, and right. So I want to go back a bit into the Norway spiral bit because the The Wikipedia thing, I'm sorry, I found it a bit unsatisfactory, and the Independent is just word for word repeating what the Wikipedia article's saying. So I found another one, Norway Spiral Revisited, and on December the 9th, 2009, I was in the right place at the wrong time. I about to start my radio experiment at the ISCAT control room. For some reason I remember that. People started to call me repeatedly. How
say
did you
2008,
know?
but Wikipedia says 2009.
Yeah, it's 2009. I misspoke.
Yeah.
A huge spiral-shaped light phenomenon appeared in the eastern sky of Tromsø, clearly visible to the naked eye. Holy shit, is that a distant galaxy seen through the wormhole, or what? The event lasted for a few minutes, and people were able to take photos and even video footage on it. Posted promptly on YouTube.
Oh, was it this? Sorry, I didn't hear it quite properly. Experts suggest that the spiral pattern can be explained by a rocket motor spinning out of control with sunlight reflecting off the leaking fuel to create the blue colour.
The other words, they're saying swamp gas over Venus.
Yeah.
It's a load of bullshit. You just, oh yeah, you know, because like rocket engineers consistently fuck up like how much rocket fuel to carry on, and they're always carrying a few extra billion tons, which means that everyone in the northern hemisphere can see the spiral at the same time.
You have to, a little bit. You're doing a space mission, so it's not really that critical that everything's got to be correct, is it?
Yeah, you don't want to have things to the last gram because, like, why would you want extra payload when you could just carry another billion tons of fuel so that you can have one of these pretty spirals that is like thousands of kilometers across? Because a little rocket can do that, just make this giant portal that's thousands of kilometers across and just easily visible from the entire northern hemisphere. So, what's this guy saying? Since this is observed mainly in Tromsø, some people thought it was an ISCAT experiment. They found my name contact info from the ISCAT website and started to email me a lot. If you Google Antti plus spiral, Antti, I think this is a Finnish name, Antti plus spiral, you might find some quite dodgy conspiracy website. It turned out, however, that the spiral didn't actually take place in Norway at all, but above the Kurla Peninsula in Russia. The spiral itself was caused by exhaust gases of a failed Russian Bulava test missile, precessing like a garden hose. The gas trail was illuminated by the sunrise, making the spiral nicely visible against the dawn skies of northern Norway. According to a recent paper by Alexander Kolovsky, the Bulava explosion fragments were in fact detected by SGO ionosonde and meteor radar 2 hours later. And there's like some graphs. And if someone told me this was a graph of something observed underneath the Giza pyramid, I'd believe them. I have no idea what this graph means. Oh, it does actually have like labeled X and Y axis. So what's the axis say? It's saying F megahertz, F2S megahertz. And then it's got some numbers. Oh, I see. So these numbers, so there was a big sort of spike around 9 to 10 megahertz, right? More than that, I can't say. And then intensity in decibels, there's a spike around 10 to 11. UT? What does UT stand for? Anyway, Borisov, Kolovsky reports, the Russian military Bulava missile is a three-stage solar propellant 46 tons ballistic rocket. On December 9, 2009, a test launch was performed from a submarine located in the White Sea. Because of a technical problem with the second stage, the missile was self-destroyed near 200 kilometers altitude over the Kola Peninsula, which is northwest of Russia. Soon after launch, it happened about 07 UT. No idea what UT means, which corresponds to sunrise. Illuminated, sunrise where? Illuminated by the sun, the combustion products of the fragments of the rocket formed a spiral, which was observed on the dawn sky in northern Norway. So why don't we see these fucking spirals with other rocket launchers? Why are they trying to tell us this bullshit like, oh, there's nothing to see here, it's just an ICBM test launch. People regularly launch ballistic missiles all the time, and it doesn't cause like a DEFCON escalation. Nobody bats an eyelid when ICBM launch. Nobody goes, oh, look, the radar's gone off because this ICBM. Now, here's the thing, right? Rocket launches, as this graph points out, they give off a detectable frequency, which can be picked up by radar. And I can't remember, somebody won like a Nobel Prize for detecting ICBMs. And you can actually like plot the vector where they're going by triangulating on radar. So everyone in the world knows when an ICBM is being launched, and it's kind of like this big deal. Like if anybody launches an ICBM, there's going to be like automatic like submarines launching nukes and stuff. So just the idea of like, oh yeah, we launched a rocket up into space. And it's fine, guys. It's just a ballistic missile. It's no big deal. It exploded over the Kola Peninsula. It created this fucking massive spiral, which is just fucking rocket fuel. Nothing to see here. Nothing to get excited about. Moving on. So yeah, we've had a return of the Norway spiral. Again. And it's the 2000. For some reason, I thought 2014, but it just goes to show how much time keeps on slipping into the future or the
Keeps on
past.
slipping.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah, so Norway Spiral. What was that about?
2.0. An image
Oh,
straight
there's a
out of a
website.
CGI-powered sci-fi movie lit up the skies over Norway earlier today at 8:45 a.m. local time. The phenomenon appeared as a spinning spiral of white light centered around a bright star-like object. The bright blue teal streamed from the center. Hold on, let's do this picture here. This is actually quite a good picture.
Yeah, because the reason we mentioned about this 2009 incident is because recently another spiral has been detected over the. Oh man, that's weird.
Oh, it won't fucking play. It won't show that one.
So I'm going to copy you an image.
Yeah.
And then. Oh, ignore the one about like what is it? Bards? This is saying about creation bards can deal over 5.6 million acid damage. It's just like explaining about Dungeons and Dragons rules, and I posted this on. They said, "Oh, is it like the peasant railgun?" I was like, "What does that mean?" It says, "Well,
How about that?
in
Is that a
Dungeons,
better picture of it? That one. I'll just put it up.
I don't know because I don't see a new image." But I posted an
Should be
image
along in
there
a
which
second,
shows
isn't
like
it?
this blue spiral going into the big spiral.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
that's the one.
that's the picture I've just put up, and it's just that picture without the
And
border on it, and it looks like
I
a
mean,
bit of
if I
text
didn't know any
quality.
better, I'd say something behind that mountain is projecting that image up into the sky. But they're just saying, "Oh, guys, don't worry. Look, it's just the same as the 2009 spiral. The
Yeah.
Russians,
Oh, is
once
this the new
again, they
one then? Is it?
yeah, so once again, the Russians have fucked up with another Beluga missile launch, and it's not going to start World War III. This ICBM launching, it's fine, it's no big deal. But this time, they're not blaming it on the Russians. They're saying it's a SpaceX thing, and it's totally normal, and it's just a little bit of rocket fuel.
Unfortunately,
I
we've
think,
got a quote from, as Zero used to call him, Nick Pope, the government dope. A former
yeah.
UFO analyst from the Ministry of Defence commented, "My first thought that it was a... Oh, he's got this horrible fucking brummy voice. My first thought that it was a meteor, a fireball or debris from an old satellite burning up in the Earth's atmosphere. But the spiral motion makes this unlikely. A meteor or fireball would simply travel in a straight line, but for something to spiral in this way appears to go against the laws of physics." That's what Nick Pope, the government dope, said.
Hmm. So spirals usually indicate a failure, such as a leaky rocket motor spinning out of
Yeah.
control.
Oh, yeah.
There is also a chance the spiral is linked to SpaceX's Starlink 641 mission, which launched from Cape Canaveral on March the
So if
4th.
that was leaking fuel,
two-
wouldn't that suggest that it would be going slower, not faster?
well, the other thing
Because
they're
you'll have too
spinning.
much. Because if it's leaking, then you'll have too much air in the fuel, won't you? Which will mess your mix up, which won't make it go faster. Because I
Sorry,
assume it's like a regular engine where you need a fuel air mix, don't you?
Yeah, but you see, the oxidizer in a rocket is provided by liquid oxygen.
Right.
I think the SpaceX rockets use liquid methane and liquid oxygen. They're liquid fuel rockets. They're not solid fuel rockets.
Living the Dream says it's a dragon ghost, and I won't be told otherwise.
You know what? It might as well be, because what else is this supposed to be?
Well, Nick Pope, the government dope is all over it.
Oh, here's an interesting conspiracy theory. Will mega constellations damage Earth's magnetic field? Something unprecedented is happening in Earth orbit. In only a few short years, the satellite population has skyrocketed, more than doubling since 2020. In the past year alone, more satellites have been launched than during the first 30 years of the space age. Much of this activity is driven by SpaceX, and it is growing mega constellation of the Starlink internet satellites. Environmentalists have raised many concerns about Starlink, including light pollution of the night.
So the one of Europe's a broken road, a broken helicopter, or whatever the fuck they're saying it is.
What? I don't know where you're getting that from.
Well, it's just a spinning blade, isn't it? That's what they said about the rocket, didn't they? It's a spinning rotor or something, isn't it, with fuel on it?
Yeah. Yeah, well, they're saying the same about the Beluga missile. Well, Baklava, Beluga, Babushka. One of those Russian words beginning with a B.
Yeah.
I don't remember which one it is now. But anyway, environmentalists like Greta Thunberg saying, "Oh, how dare you put the rockets into space?" And they're saying, "Oh, you see, it could potentially hazardous traffic jam in low Earth orbit." Yeah, because you see, the thing is, in space, people have to go on roads in space. There's no space in space. And it could even cause ozone depletion. Do you remember that big
Have you ever heard of the Drammen Spiral? It's a tunnel near Drammen in Norway. The tunnel is 1,650 metres long and in the shape of a helix with 6 rising circles in the same style as a multi-storey parking lot. Each rotation of the helix rises 73 feet with a diameter of 230 feet. The tunnel emerges at a summit above the town of Scanson Ridge, where there are parking facilities and a cafe.
Right, so if we're just getting back to this point about the satellites, now there's a new reason to worry. According to a new study by Sierra Sota, that sounds like Rachel Carson if ever I've heard it, a name like that. Mega constellations could alter and weaken Earth's magnetic field, just like DDT is going to kill all the birds in the book I've written, which is real in my mind. Salter is, by the way, Rachel Carson, I really don't appreciate you. Salter is a graduate student at the University of Iceland, working on a PhD in children's books. She recently realised something overlooked by many senior colleagues. More than 50,000 more than 500,000 satellites are expected in the decades ahead, primarily to build internet mega constellations. How dare you? Every satellite that goes up will eventually come down. Why? Literally, why? They're up in space. We don't go, oh no, the moon's going to crash into Earth any time. Every satellite that goes up will eventually come down, disintegrating in Earth's atmosphere. This will create a massive layer of conducting, electrically charged particles around our planet. Oh no. Oh. To understand the scale of the problem, consider the following. If you gather up every charged particle in Earth's Van Allen belts, the combined mass would only be about a very small number. Let's see, that is a tenth of a gram? That's a hundredth of a gram. No, that's a kilogram, so that's 100 grams, so that's 10 grams. So that's 1 gram. So it would be equivalent to 0.2 of a gram. Other components of the magnetosphere, seriously, that's the wrong fucking scale. Don't use kg and all those small numbers. You just fuck off. Other components of the magnetosphere, such as the ring current and plasmasphere, are even less massive. For comparison, the mass of a second-generation Starlink satellite is 1,250 kilograms, all of which will become conductive debris when the satellite is eventually deorbited. Metal debris from a single deorbited Starlink satellite is 7 million times more massive than the Van Allen belts. An entire mega constellation is billions of times more massive. These ratios point to a big problem. The space industry is adding enormous amounts of material to the magnetosphere in comparison to the natural levels of particulate matter, says Salter. How dare you! Due to the conductive nature of the satellite debris, this may perturb change things. Do you remember when Björk was describing the insides of a television, saying it's like a city in there, and there are roads, and they have capacitors, and they look like towers where the electrons live.
I could never stand Björk for any money.
One of the first AI upscale videos I ever saw was her showing the inside of a television and describing the components in it. There is already evidence of this process in action. A 2023 study by researchers using high-altitude NASA aircraft found 10% of aerosols in the stratosphere contain aluminium and other metals. Oh, but here's the bullshit, right? This is the bit that really fucks me off. Stash, you pay attention here, right? So they're saying that the aerosols in the stratosphere contain aluminium and other metals. But what's their conclusion? From disintegrating satellites and rocket stages. Fuck off. We all know where the aluminium's coming from. It's stratospheric climate remediation, to use the Met Office term. Bullshit. Yeah. Just chemtrails. It's fucking chemtrails. What we're going on with? These particles are drifting down from the ablation zone, which is 70 to 80 kilometers above Earth's surface, where meteors and satellites burn up. Salter decided to look for changes in the electrical properties of the ablation zone, and she found something. A NASA model of the upper atmosphere shows a sharp increase in the Debye length, which is D-E-B-Y-E, Debye length, just where satellites break apart and they deorbit. Debye length is a number that tells researchers how far an unbalanced electrical charge can be felt in conducting plasmas. The fact that it changes abruptly in the same place satellites disintegrate may be significant. Extrapolating into the future, Salter rose that satellite debris could weaken Earth's magnetic field, the same magnetic field that protects us from cosmic rays and solar storms. It's a textbook undergraduate physics problem, she explains. Suppose you put a conductive shell, which is...
do you think this could be them zapping a satellite?
I think this is them trying to say, oh, look, we can't have Starlink because the chemtrails we're doing are making the atmosphere more conductive.
Yeah.
And that's bad.
It's also gender bias.
Oh, yeah? What does it affect women trees more than male trees?
Yeah, something. It's got to be. Yeah. Everything is gender bias. Sorry.
How does this affect quadriplegic Africans in Burkina Faso?
Yeah.
Burkina Faso.
Is it,
how does having more aluminium oxide in the sand of a Burkina Faso woman's vagina affect me? Outside the shell, the magnetic field goes to zero due to shielding effects. This is a highly simplified comparison, of course, but we might actually be doing this to our planet. Salter's preliminary study appears to show that the space industry is indeed perturbing the environment. It's very concerning, she concludes. We absolutely cannot dump endless amounts of conductive dust into the magnetosphere and not expect some kind of impact. Multidisciplinary studies of the pollution are urgently needed. Well, it would be nice if you could identify the fucking source of it for a start and go, I wonder where this aluminium oxide and other dust is coming from. Is it coming from ablating satellites, or is it coming from, I don't know, the countless billions of tons, who knows how much they're putting up there because no one will tell us, of the chemtrails? By the way, chemtrails are real. Also, YouTube, chemtrails, 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 climate change, global warming. Right. Which Wikipedia article are you going to fact check this episode with? Go fuck yourself.
I was going to
Chemtrails.
ask you guys on the side. The UK is beating the war drums. They're like, we want to put troops in Ukraine and everything. How do people on the streets there feel about it? Are they like, are the people as dumb as over here? They're like, stand with Ukraine.
Oh, you've got to
No
see
matter what.
the recruitment lines around all the kebab shops and mosques. They're just all they'll be like, Inshallah, we will die for Ukraine. They're very patriotic. That those are. King Charles said, "Yallah, my subjects will defeat the infidels," and then he said some other stuff in Arabic I don't understand. And Bradford is just empty now, as is Birmingham. They're all gone. They're all fighting in Ukraine. So good on my brothers. Defeat Zog and then on to Israel. Yeah, you know.
Oh, no way. There's that many guys sent over there already?
There is not a single Pakistani left in England. They're all in the Eastern Front.
Holy shit.
Even Sadiq Khan's getting shipped up this weekend. They managed to find a set of boots small enough for his feet.
It's costing you guys a lot of money then, right?
Stop winding Stash up, Hobbit.
It's not costing us anything because according to Keir Starmer, war's very good for the economy. It's generated plenty of jobs at Lockheed Martin.
Hobbit, you got to say it properly.
Jobs, Bradante. Oh yeah, and Keir. So what I don't understand about this is at the same time that Keir Starmer's giving machine guns to all the Pakistanis in this country, he's also banning ninja knives, ninja swords.
Have you heard? We're not allowed ninja swords anymore. Stash. Can you tell us what a ninja sword is?
What the hell good is it being a British citizen anymore if you can't have a ninja sword?
Nobody has any idea what a fucking ninja sword is. Nobody at all knows what one is.
But Keir Starmer's banned it, so clearly it's something.
But they've been banned. No more ninja.
Yeah.
You know that ninja sword you had your eye on, Stash. Don't bring it to England.
I wanted a British ninja sword.
Yeah. Well, you can't have one now. They're not allowed.
As you see, especially with Assassin's Creed Shadows coming to light recently, England has a pernicious and vicious ninja sword problem.
We have a massive ninja and zombie knives, Hobbit. Don't forget zombie knives.
Zombie knives. We got a big problem with zombies in this country. Got a big problem with ninjas. And Keir Starmer's like, put a stop to this now. No more ninja sword knives.
Brian Badonde Starmer.
Yeah, it said bibbly bong.
No more.
No more ninja swords for anybody. A single bit of news about the UK in years that didn't have something to do with your support for Ukraine.
Yeah. I mean, the ninja sword is as British as tea and crumpets and cricket.
Yeah.
I mean, what will the village green look like without the typical weekend gathering of boys playing with their ninja swords and the zombie knives?
Yeah.
And then going to have tea and biscuits.
Yeah. And then there's this new documentary, Stash, called what is it? Adolescence, which is the scourge, the real problem that England's got of young white boys going around stabbing girls.
That's the big problem.
Yeah, that's a massive problem. White boys, it's white boys stabbing young white girls. It's a massive problem.
Yes, right. Institutionalized racism, of course.
Yeah. Oh, I know that because the fictional piece of drama told me that white boys that are in
Jeremy Vine asked, "What are we going to do about this problem?" I said, "That's not the point, Jeremy. What we really need to tackle is because I watched Spider-Man. So what we really need to tackle is the problem of young boys being bitten by radioactive spiders and being given radioactive powers.
Yeah.
That's
We
a
need
problem that needs sorting out.
we need common sense legislation on radioactive spiders
Yes.
and spider bites.
Yes. What
Do
about
they have any more
What about
fictional shows
supernatural
with
killers
English
with
people
hockey
in them?
masks coming back from the dead
Sure.
and terrorizing holiday camps for kids? Like that
What
needs
about
that
clowns
scourge.
and storm drains?
He's no more ninja knives for Jason Voorhees. He's gonna have to fuck off. He's gonna have to put his ninja knife away, and he's gonna have to step away from the camp counselors. See, that's all they
Do
need.
you have
That's
any
all they
television
needed to do
programs with English people anymore?
That's all they needed to do with Jason
Sorry.
Voorhees. Just take his ninja sword off him, and he'd have been fucked, wouldn't he? He'd have gone, "Oh no, I can't kill anybody. I haven't got a ninja sword anymore."
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Living the Dream says, all the stuff they're banning has already been prohibited from sale years ago, and also I'm pretty sure killing people with knives is already illegal.
I was going to say, why don't they just ban stabbing people and be done with it?
Yeah, well, they
Like,
make it
if they
illegal.
look, if you make it illegal to stab people, then job done. You don't have to ban all this stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
Have we got any more stash that you want to talk about? Hot button issues.
Any more questions?
Hot button issues.
No, but that was a good bit of news. So that's really real. So there's entire town loads of guys that are missing.
No.
It's incredible. Like, you go to Bradford and it doesn't even stink of curry and shit anymore.
So they're actually in Ukraine.
No, they're not.
No.
Stop winding up, Hobbit. Stop winding up. He believes you, Hobbit. Stop it.
What I'm trying to say is that
They're the last
conscription in this
people that can be
country.
signing up for this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's all you see now. Like, isn't the leader of Ireland, Scotland, they're all guys from India or Pakistan, right?
Mm.
Very weird. And is Sherlock Holmes now a guy from Bombay or something? Or
He's just as British as you and I.
No, but oh god, have you seen the casting for Odyssey? The Odyssey.
Like a new big movie coming out?
Yeah, Christopher Nolan's making the Odyssey. You know,
It's going to have Matt Damon, I guess.
no, I don't think so. I think it was Zendaya's going to be in it probably.
Oh,
Did you
I
go
know.
and see? Did you go and see Snow White at the weekend, Stash?
no.
Were you in the? Did you have to fight your way through the crowds to go and see Snow White?
I guess it's really true. People are not really going to the movies anymore because they're all like, you know.
De Niro's film bombed, didn't it?
Oh God, yeah, I hate him now.
He's a bum. He's a bum and he's a mook.
He's gone totally weird. I don't know. I guess as a form of entertainment now, I guess the movies are kind of done. Although I did like Dune 2.
Don't talk about Dune with Hobbit around.
You mean
Okay.
Dunk? Because
Dunk.
Doom 2 is the one where you get the super shotgun. I know about this. Ian told me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dunk Part 1 and 2, very boring film. David Lynch's version of Dune, much better.
I'm waiting for the AI to get good enough so we can go. AI, can you do Dune 2 as it would be if it was a sequel by David Lynch?
I'm just waiting for the AI to say, look, can you replace an elder with Sean Young?
Oh, you need you need the costumes and everything. So you just go, can you do Dunk as if it was done
Not
by,
shit.
Yeah. Can you do Dunk as if it was done by David Lynch?
Yep.
I have a film coming out, Zombie vs. Karate, Part 1.
Oh, what do you need? What else do you need from a movie? It reminds me of But you know about? Do you remember the Secret Wars comics that Marvel did, Stash? Did you know? Did you know that was named because what they did some marketing with kids, and it turns out little boys' favorite two words are secret and war. So that's why it was called Secret Wars.
Oh, the old one where the Avengers and everybody fought everybody.
Yeah. That's why. That's why
they're gonna do that. Yeah,
that was why it's called Secret Wars, because they just did their marketing and found out that that's little boys' two favorite names. So just take all my money.
Wars. The Marvel movies, I watch them, I get dazzled, I'm enjoying when I watch it. Then when I walk out of the theater or I shut it off, I'm like, what did I don't remember anything about it. It's just, they're not exactly really movies. It's like, I don't know.
They're not good. Anyway,
they're not that great.
It's 9 o'clock. It's time for us to go. What are you laughing at?
I'll see you, Jeff. I hope I didn't fuck up your show. I'm sorry.
I'm watching the chess clip.
On behalf of America, if I fucked up you guys' podcast, I apologize.
No, it's all right, Stash.
Stash, to make up for it, you need to watch that clip from bottom where he's playing chess.
Yeah, you have to scroll up a bit. Put it in again, Hobbit. Anyway,
okay.
I'm done. We're done. This is over.
See you guys.
Good
Don't
night,
get
all.
nuked over there.